Need ground troops to achieve its objectives in Iran.
The U.S. says it has struck more than 11,000 targets, while Israel says it has neutralized about 70% of Iran's missile launchers. The conflict is now in its second month, with more than 3,000 people killed, most in Iran and Lebanon. A Madison teacher is in custody for allegedly having an inappropriate relationship with a student. Police say 29-year-old Eliev Goldman, a music teacher at Vel Phillips Memorial High School and Toki Middle School, is accused of child grooming and sexual misconduct. The Madison Metropolitan School District learned of the misconduct on March 20th and placed Goldman on leave. Superintendent Dr. Joe Gothard says the district has zero tolerance for the misconduct and is offering support to those impacted. Formal charges have not been filed. Governor Tony Evers takes his veto pen to several bills.
One would have required the WIAA to follow open record laws, and another would have let employees consider non-criminal charges when hiring or firing. Evers says the measures could undermine the presumption of innocence. He also says the WIAA already shares enough information, and fans should still have access to results and schedules. He also blocked bills that would have required new school referendum approvals and imposed harsher drug sentences near homeless shelters. He signed bills expanding mental health evaluations and defining anti-Semitism for discrimination claims. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
A popular Midwest gas station and convenience store chain is introducing a mascot. Red the Chicken is touring Quick Trip stores across the Midwest. Quick Trip video production manager Amy DuPont tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
Red's main goal is, I know this sounds hokey, but it's just to bring joy, to surprise and delight not only our coworkers, but our guests, the communities that we serve in. And one thing I'm really proud of is I went to my supervisors and I said, hey, can Red have like a charity arm? Can we go visit kids, whether they're in the hospital, at a shelter, at a school event? And they were like, yeah, let's do it.
Red's tour will last the next 6 weeks. Now that the baseball season is underway, fans heading to American Family Field will need to do a little planning ahead.
Worried about getting to the Brewers games this season? Fear not. The Brewers and the DOT have you covered with the route planning resource tied to the parking lots.
The Brewers website does have a specific spot for best routes heading to and leaving the stadium.
The DOT's Eric Hansen says it'll make things so much easier for you in light of the new I-94 mega project traffic patterns.
It takes into account the area that the fans are coming from and the parking lot they're going to.
You can get more details at WTMJ.com. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
Sports traffic and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 7:03.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Milwaukee Bucks are officially eliminated from playoff contention after their 127-95 loss to the Spurs on Saturday. Today, the Bucks lose to the Clippers 127-113. And the Brewers sweep the White Sox with a 9-7 win today. Monday night, they begin a series against the Rays. The Badgers men's hockey team defeats Michigan State in overtime to clinch a spot in the Frozen Four. They play North Dakota on Thursday at 6:30. Badgers sports updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Pretty clear on the roads, no major incidents and no slowdowns. Time for the WTMJ forecast. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 45. Monday, partly cloudy and warm with storms late, a high of 68 degrees on the lakeside, 74 degrees inland. Tuesday, warm with more storms likely, a high of 67. Wednesday, mostly cloudy and cooler, a high of 41. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a chance for mixed precipitation, a high of 40. And on Friday, mostly cloudy with a high of 44. Right now in Madison, it's 54 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 53. In Waukesha, 53. And in Milwaukee, it's 52 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 7:06.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
We live in a country that is based on capitalism.
True.
I travel all around the world, Dr. Ken, and when I tell you, based on my experiences, this is like the number one country that cares. Like, everything is about money.
Yep.
Everything.
I've told people in the past, you have to be careful of what you complain about and what you use as a tool, because other people will take it and use it in the wrong way.
Live at the Avenue, here's Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Good evening and welcome. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number if you're listening on Monday night. And Sunday night is 855-616-1620. That's the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line. But whenever and wherever you're listening, just know that we're live on YouTube as well. You can watch the show, see what's going on in the studio, see me eating sweet tarts, mumbling and stumbling with Evan and Denise. And you can comment. You can get on the Talk and Text line, the YouTube chat, wherever you at. Why is that? Because this is Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris, Evan, and you. Okay, I'm ready to go home and go sleep.
You're ready to go home and go to sleep?
Yep. Ready to go home and go sleep.
We're not going to the after party after the show?
I'm depressed.
Okay, so fellow listeners, let me entertain Dr. Ken for a second. Dr. Ken, why are you depressed?
Duke lost.
Oh, so you're a March Madness person?
No, I'm not, but I always go for the underdog. And UConn was playing Duke. And, well, yeah.
Duke is the underdog?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I am sorry that the loss resulted in your feeling of depression.
Significant depression. Significant.
Oh, so now it's significant.
But Illinois won, so I'm okay. And Arizona won, so I'm okay.
So you're not depressed?
And Michigan won, so I'm okay.
So you're not depressed?
I'm depressed about Duke.
Well, speaking of sports,
I got a 3/4 day. So, ooh,
you got a 3/4 day. That's pretty good, Dr. Ken.
You gonna go there? You gonna? Ooh.
A 3/4 day versus a 1/5 day.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Well, if we count that other team, it'd be a 60% day, because Duke lost, and then that other other team you were going to mention that bounced.
I am far removed from March Madness. I couldn't tell you, because as you know, and as many of our valued listeners know, me being a Chicago Bears fan, it's exhausting. It takes everything out of me. So this is my off season where I just build my energy back up.
Okay.
Yeah, as a Bears fan, it's hard for me to engage in any other seasons, any other sports. Yeah. If it happens to be on, I'll watch it. Otherwise.
Really?
it takes everything out of my soul. I mean, last season obviously was an improvement.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm gonna let.
They're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. Now, speaking of sports, we've got a lot of great topics during our show this evening. A lot of change, a lot of transitions are taking place in both the NBA, especially here in Milwaukee. If you don't already know, and you are a Bucks fan, we ain't going to the playoffs. I mean, it's not funny, but we ain't going. So whatever tickets you've already purchased for the regular season, enjoy them, because there will be no post-regular season engagement from the Milwaukee Bucks. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Do you feel any type of way about that, Dr. Ken?
No, not really. But I'm going to put them in the Duke category. It is kind of depressing. It's the first time they missed the playoffs since the 2015-2016 season. So
yeah,
they played through COVID and they still made the playoffs. So
it's been interesting. So we're going to get into that as well. And obviously, you know, with speaking of sports, we'll definitely get into Tiger Woods, who recently, as the last few days, was arrested for driving under the influence. Now, we're going to get into the story, but I just want to remind or inform all of us that Tiger Woods reportedly, based on the sheriff's department that had the post-arrest press conference, Tiger Woods was not under the influence of alcohol.
Correct.
He was under the influence of what appears to be pain killers, pain medicine.
Right.
But first, speaking of sports, right now, all eyes are on Wisconsin's Governor Tony Evers, because sitting on his desk right now is a decision that could reshape how Wisconsin engages with gambling, money, and risk. And so there is a bill right now to legalize online sports betting. Passed with bipartisan support, is now facing intense pressure. And if he signs it, there are already threats of lawsuits waiting on the other side. So this is not just about betting. This is about control. This is about revenue. And this is about who really benefits from the systems that we create. So I'm going to give a little bit of context, Dr. Ken, and then I just want to ask you a question, because I know you, as a very intellectual person, you appreciate data. So let me give y'all some context. And again, our Citing Unlimited talk and text line is 855-616-1620. Legal sports betting has expanded nationwide. More than, I believe, 38 states now allow it. Wisconsin's proposal would allow betting statewide, but routed through tribal lands using a hub and spoke model. And here's the part that should make you pause. 64% of voters actually oppose online sports betting. So, Dr. Ken, the question becomes, when policy moves forward, well, no, let me ask you this. Are we regulating something that already exists, or are we opening the door to something bigger?
I think both. I think we're doing both. I think that People are already betting online in whatever way that they do. We're just formalizing it here in Wisconsin because eventually the governor wants to make money. They want to tax it. And so you got to, just like they did Cash App and Venmo, they're tracking it. And if you don't put a title in it to say, hey, it was a gift or it was a whatever, then you're going to, might end up on your taxes at the end of the year. Well, the same thing is true for sports betting. They want to get some tax money. They want to get, we got a windfall. You won $5,000, $500,000. They want their money. So I understand the logic in it. But now you're going to make betting as easy as social media is. And when is the lawsuit coming for the same way they did social media, right? Somebody's going to get addicted, and anybody who's already addicted is going to never have to leave the home. The home they'll lose because they used up all the equity, and now bank's going to come and take it. But then how will this affect places like Potawatomi Casino? How will they recoup roughly, and I'm just throwing a number out there, half of their constituency who don't need a machine because they have their phone. They have a computer, and they can just bet into a balloon. And then the flip side is all the folks in all those workrooms in other countries that are breaking into people's computers now will get your credit card and your debit card and your money. And I think it's going to create a bigger problem than we have today.
So if something is already happening illegally, you basically are saying that legalizing it is not going to make it better. It's just going to make it easier.
Correct.
Okay. Because for me, the conversation that we're having, and again, please feel free to let us know how you feel. 855-616-1620. You can either call in or send us a text. I'm going to ruffle some feathers when I say this, because I'm going to take it to a level that, for me, has become a disaster since sports betting has become legal. And again, as of today, in America, 38 plus states have legalized sports betting, online sports betting. Now, there has been a survey by YouGov that basically suggests that 65% of Americans suspect that professional athletes sometimes after their performance, alter their performance to benefit sports bettors. So we come back from break. I'm going to give you my op-ed on why that is the main reason why I'm against it. Because we've seen recently, over the past 2 years, dozens of professional and collegiate athletes and coaches being suspended or fired for gambling violations, including altering their performance to benefit sports bettors. You are listening to The Truth Unfiltered with Dr. Ken and your girl DT. We will be back.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
If you're the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, you should be happy when other people want your coaches.
Okay. See the world from his perspective.
And the flip side of it is nobody wants any of your guys. The same thing with players going to free agency.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
If half your guys don't get picked up, you're probably like, well, this guy probably shouldn't have been in the league last year. We should want Jimmy Leonard to go be a head football coach.
Mark Tauscher, presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
So if you're looking to install a new glass shower door, you're going to want to see selection. The more you see, the better choice you can make. And that's why our store is loaded with 20 different glass shower door options. And what sets Les's Glass apart is that you're going to have somebody close by for help who's been here for years and years to ask them questions and get reliable answers. Now, no one's going to be hounding you, but when you need an answer, you're not going to have to search around. One thing you can count on at Less's Glass is that there will always be a member of our staff here with decades of experience. And that matters, because how many times have you been at the big box home improvement store, walking around trying to find someone who can actually answer your questions? This is Stacy Sinks. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Why do we have so many successful, long-term clients that started out with less than half of what they now invest in advertising? How are we able to keep our clients on the air 52 weeks a year with great weekly repetition, in some cases for over 15 years straight? Well, it's because our volume gets us access to rates that business owners can't get on their own. It's because repetition works, our buying style is efficient, and our messages sell. Go to anderson-smith.com because we help small business advertisers get better results. The arena we work in is where the rubber meets the road. If we don't get results, we're gone. Because with small business advertisers, any ad dollar spent counts. How many agencies can say they've kept small, locally owned businesses advertising 52 weeks a year for over a decade straight? How many have made shoestring budgets grow by over 1,000%? We can, because we get results. Go to anderson-smith.com, hit the Contact Us button, email me, and I'll call you in short order. Because it's time we grew your business.
Welcome back to The Truth Unfiltered.
You're listening to Unfiltered. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 855-1616. Citing Unlimited. Search 6.WTMJ. Log in. Next thing you know, you'll be able to chat. You can listen. You can text on 2 different places. You'll be great. So I want to let you know that Denise is in wonderful Dallas, Texas, and sometimes her sound is good, sometimes it's not, so we are aware of it. I think next time we do this, we'll just do it on Zoom. It sounds like Zoom is better, or maybe we'll switch to Zoom at 8 o'clock. See how that works. We gonna do a little, and then we're gonna turn it over to the engineering brainiacs who work here, who are like stellar in what they do, and all the IT people, and let them do some stuff and talk to Denise and all that stuff. So. We'll see. So before the break, we were talking about sports, and we went through Tiger Woods and driving with painkillers and all that stuff. And so I came across some interesting information because we were wondering, why did Governor Evers actually decide to kind of, like accidentally and so everybody's upset about it, but Potawatomi Casino Hotel is talking about it. So we got to find out and know exactly what's going on with them, because we have to understand that there are going to be significant tax ramifications, and I know that's what the state wants. And so I looked up, and there's some key tax rules for sports betting. First of all of your winnings, including cash, get this, including non-cash prizes. You win a car, taxable. You win a trip, taxable. So if you win a $10,000 trip, you got to pay tax on it. Winnings are reported as other income on Schedule 1 on your Form 1040. They got a W-2G form where the platform is going to have to send the form if you win $600 or more. But get this, provided the payout is at least 300 times the wager. So if you put in $1 and you win $300, guess what? They're going to hit you. Starting this year, the threshold for reporting may trigger at $2,000. Withholding, if you win over $5,000, the feds automatically, it's like an IRA. They automatically take 24% because that's the average. That's the biggest in the average, taxable area, the amount that people get taken out. You can deduct losses only if you itemize your deductions on Schedule A. So if you don't have itemized deduction on Schedule A and you lose the money sports betting, it's just gone. If you take a standard deduction, you can't deduct the losses anyway. And even if you lose money overall, you got to report your winnings. So if you win $300 and you lose $10,000, you still got to report the $300. And then on top of all of that, on top of all those things, the state is, if it passes, is now going to tax your gambling winnings. Now, the rates are different and they go from place to place. But if you lose, here's the weird part. You got to keep detailed records and logs of all your bets, all the dates, the wager amount, whether you won, whether you lost. Because you're going to get out of it. You know it. Somebody's going to go in. I made $24,000 last year at work, and my sports winnings, like if you play cards or something. I mean, think about that poker that they have in Vegas and all that. I won $300 million. Well, guess what? They coming for me. I won $300. Guess what? They coming. So I guess the best thing to do is to move to a state like Texas where there's no income tax. And then you can
for me, I'm not, by no means am I judging anyone who gambles. I am not a gambler because for me, I'm that person that would frustrate you if you are a gambler and we went to Vegas and it's time to put some money down and I'm pulling out like a $5 bill. That's the best I can do. For me...
Wait. $5 bill and nickels.
Exactly. I'm that person. I can't, for me, rationalize as hard as I work. And again, I'm not judging those who choose to gamble. I guess I gamble every day as an entrepreneur. I just don't gamble recreationally. But for me, it's beyond the politics. For me, it's the disaster that has already happened where the legalization of sports gambling has now made it easier or put a lot of attention for players to fix the outcome of a bet by altering their performance. So in 2018, the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, basically allowed states outside of Nevada to legalize bookmaking. So online betting companies such as FanDuel, DraftKings, I believe MGM, they began carving every single game, whether it was in the National Basketball Association, the National Football League, into thousands of props down to the real-time outcome of the next play. Think about that. Every element of a game is now part of online betting. And like I mentioned, including down to the real-time outcome of the next play. And so this has created, and this is my opinion, Dr. Ken, a very highly addictive gambling experience where many people are now betting on like props. And then you have players who again are altering their performance. And we've seen it every year. We've seen a scandal. The most recent one, what's my guy, Dr. Ken, the former coach, former player of Detroit Pistons, Chauncey
Billups.
Yes, Chauncey Billups, and there were two other players that are now facing legal action, like jail time, prosecution, due to this enhanced and increased online betting.
That was
And for me,
Damon Jones and Terry Rozier, Miami Heat.
Thank you.
And then you got baseball players. Marcano, he was banned in 2024. He was with the Padres, permanently banned from betting on baseball, including games involving his former team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Players in college charged with point shaving. Craziness.
Again, the indictment between, based on what you said, the Portland Trail Blazers, Chauncey Billups were alleged again being involved in rigged mob run poker games. Mob run!
That's just crazy. You do know, statistically, none of the statistics is on your side to win a game. If you're playing in a professional, I heard a guy on a podcast say, if you're playing in a professional game that has been set up, if you go to a casino, the odds are markedly and wickedly against you winning. The house is set to win roughly 98% of the time.
Here's what I don't get. This is what just blows my mind.
What's that?
And I'm going to give you a real life example. The New Yorker released an article back in October of 2025, so just barely 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier made $160 million over 10 years playing in the NBA.
Yep.
The morning after the Miami Heat's first game of the season last year, the FBI arrested Terry Rozier, charging him with altering his performance in collusion with a childhood friend and other gamblers. Then you have another incident where a former NBA player, Damon Jones, allegedly tipped gamblers that LeBron James would be missing a Los Angeles Lakers game with an injury before the news became public. So these are the kind of things that are happening as a result to the online sports gambling outside of Nevada now being eligible. So like you said, Dr. Ken, you don't have to go to Vegas to gamble anymore. You don't have to get out of your house. You don't have to leave your house and get in your car and drive to a casino. And so because of the accessibility, the ease of gambling, and I'm going to be clear, I don't judge. I don't like when we live in a society where adults can't make their own decisions. I don't like that. But what I don't like as it relates to the online sports gambling is knowing that you have fans. And I'm gonna focus on Milwaukee. You know, I tell people this all the time. Milwaukee is a blue-collar, hard-working, industrial Midwest city. So fans, when we invest in season tickets or even buy a single game ticket or a 10-game package, that is not play for us. And so to know that we could be going into, okay, for all I know, and this is where I'm going to ruffle some feathers, for all I know, we're not going to the playoffs. Why? Could it be that team members are purposely, again, these are the questions that are valid now based on the ease of being able to gamble or bet on your team or bet on any team through the luxury of your home. And use, now you got inside trading in sports. Inside trading in sports, think about it.
Yep.
Players who are getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars in their contract are altering their performance just so they can get more money.
855-616-1620 is the Citing Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line. Well, you done blew up the talking text line, so when we come back, we're going to hit some of those comments, and I want to hear what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You can also subscribe on YouTube, so whenever and wherever you're listening, all you got to know is that we're live on YouTube. You can see how I look, and you can see the beauty of Denise Thomas right here on 620 WTMJ. We'll be back.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
From those with no experience to firearms enthusiasts, all are welcome at Mission 94 Firearms Education Center. The staff is deeply committed to providing a welcoming and engaging environment for everyone at every level. Learn the right way to handle firearms, level up your skills, and experience replica firearms from different historical eras while learning about their role in protecting our freedoms throughout history. Visit veteran-owned and managed Mission 94 in Kenosha today. Check out the 5-star reviews. Just Google Mission 94.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered.
If we could just get them to play the original theme from Shaft by Isaac Hayes. Hint, hint. Sonic Unlimited, WTMJ talking text line is 855-616-1620. Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris, Truth Unfiltered. Evan is even hanging around. Jessica Gatso's giving us news at top of the hour. 38 minutes after the hour. Talking text line. You are right. And tell me what you think, Denise. The integrity of sports is gone. Because that's what you intimated with all players coming under scrutiny now, because did you lose, or did you lose because you want a better draft pick next season or 2 seasons from now? Like, but
I am old
kind of correct. It's integrity's gone.
I'm old school. Let me just say this. Sports has been my consistent, ongoing inspiration to dominate. Like when I'm feeling as an entrepreneur that I just want to quit or give up, I rely heavily on sports. And I think, I think for a lot of us as Americans, because we traditionally dominate in sports, that's our heroes. That's our heroines. Like, we look up to athletes. We go to games because we want to witness the power of athleticism, the power of competition, not just winning, but dominating. And that's one of the reasons why Giannis has been such a successful brand for the Bucks, because Giannis has always been that player that's dominated the game. He plays to win. It's not about the money for Giannis. We've seen that. It's not about. So I love watching competition, but now it's different because I'm now going into the venue or I'm watching the game thinking, did they lose because they just generally were the lesser team? Or did they lose because one or two or one or more athletes before the game said, hey man, we're going to alter this score, we're going to alter this? Because I'm going to keep it real with y'all. And again, I'm going to ruffle some feathers. I was born in 76. I grew up watching basketball in the 80s and the 90s. So I'm part of the, what was the nickname for the Detroit Pistons? The Bad Boys?
Yep.
I come from the generation of Jordan, Pippen, very Patrick Ewing,
Charles Barkley.
my guy from the Supersonics, Gary Payton, Allen Iverson. See, I watched sports when it was not just about winning the game, but dominating the sport. Playing while you had the flu. Getting physical. I don't condone violence, but I loved watching athletes want to win so bad that they didn't just want to have the higher score. They wanted to dominate.
Yep.
That's gone now. I get so sick of these players who miss 10 games. And I'm talking about NBA right now.
But I got a hangman.
You got 88. How many games in a regular season? What, 88? 87? It's somewhere in the 80s. And you got players who are missing like
82.
50%, 82, 50%. Oh, my toenail broke.
My toenail broke. My thigh hurts. I got a headache.
And so how do you get all this money? Then you don't play like you want to dominate the game. And then you put more time and effort during post-season playing, these exhibition games and these tournaments and going to these concerts and making recording albums. Man, miss me with that. So that's why I said, not only am I not a gambler, recreational gambler, but I also don't like the fact that the legalization of online sports gambling or betting has come to this.
Well,
I want to know that the athletes want to dominate.
Well, somebody said on the YouTube chat, so if you make a bet because you're privy to knowledge, it's illegal. But if I get a tip from a buddy that's in town because he heard something or she heard something, then I can bet, and that's considered legal.
Y'all gonna really be mad at me, but we could talk about this another day. This is why I'm not a fan of fantasy sports, fantasy football.
I still don't understand it. I just don't get it.
It's a joke. So here's what I get frustrated with, because again, I'm a very loyal fan.
Okay.
I have two teams that I am loyal and dedicated to: the Bears and the Milwaukee Bucks. Period. I don't like the fact that you have people who will say, go Pat, go, but then they got, investments in other players, part of their fantasy football. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm so anti-fantasy football, it's not even funny.
Well, let me throw another wrinkle in. Because 262-210 said, I don't think it's only the players and the coaches who alter the play. I think referees play a big part and have for a long time. There's been a referee that's been, fired or arrested or charged because they did things that were not right. And so I think
how dare
sports, you? And check the talk and text line. There's a huge one that Peter put in that I want to get to. But I think we're getting to the point where sports is like WWF. They know what the outcome's going to be already, and you're just watching them play through to see how many people you can get in the seats, and they're altering the scores, and they're getting close and all that, and then you have a winner. Because I think that's where we're headed. I think that's where we're headed. I don't know. Before we go to break, Peter said in Wisconsin, all gaming except the state lotteries are illegal. Well, to a point. You can still do calendar. You can do raffles and stuff like that. And it's unconstitutional. The only reason we have tribal gaming is because a law in 1970's U.S. Supreme Court ruled that if a state has a lottery, then it must allow tribal gaming only on tribal land in that state. So without an amendment, non-tribal gaming and online gaming by anyone is currently prohibited, even though some people, like you were talking about, find ways to do it. The passed bill on Evers' desk would give tribes the right to host online gaming from infrastructure on tribal land, but the private firms threatened to challenge it on the grounds that the legislature cannot create a new form of gambling not done in person on tribal land and without a Wisconsin constitutional amendment. So when we come back, I want to hear what you think about that. That only the tribes get to do it because of all the things that they've gone through over the years and since Columbus and all that stuff. So now only tribes get to do it. Interesting. Signing up. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You gonna ask a black woman whose ancestors are slaves about? Is that what you want? I think I should be quiet on this one.
That's why I said come back after the break, because you can build it up and build it up. We'll be ready to explode in about 2 minutes. So, Signing Unlimited, WTMJ talk and text line is 855-616-1620. You can hit us on the talk and text line or the YouTube chat, or you can just give us a call. You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Yeah, Debbie, this is Dan. South of K, there's a car fire in the southbound lane closing off 3 lanes.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hey, Debbie, just calling in. There's 2 separate accidents, 94 westbound.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
There was an accident. There's already 4 cops there and an ambulance.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does. Because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Join the Brewers series against the White Sox March 26th, 28th, and 29th. Grab this year's first giveaway on Saturday the 28th, a replica of American Family Field for the first 25,000 fans, courtesy of American Family Insurance. On the 29th, it's Kids Cheer Free. Buy an adult terrace seat and receive a free ticket for kids ages 14 and under. On Sunday the 29th, the first 5,000 kids get a drip necklace giveaway. Grab your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Welcome back to the Truth Unfiltered.
They made a song about me. You're listening to Truth Unfiltered, 50 minutes after the hour. Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris. Evan is even hanging around, just on the ones and twos, making sure everybody does what they do and all that stuff. Now for the sound, we're going to try something new in the 8 o'clock hour, so y'all can let us know what how it sounds and all that stuff. But we've been talking about sports. We've been talking about gambling in Wisconsin. We've been talking about all the taxes y'all going to have to pay when y'all win. But you know you're never going to win because you can rarely beat the house. And all the folks that went to jail, baseball players, college basketball players, professional basketball players, basketball coaches, all that. So with that, it's unconstitutional in Wisconsin. Peter brought up a great idea. Not an idea, but comment. It's illegal in Wisconsin, and because of 1970s ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court, if you gamble on tribal land, then you get to have casinos, and you have them all over the country, including in the Northeast and Midwest and Arizona and Oklahoma and all that. State of Washington, all that. But then I said, well, aren't people upset that some people get to do it and other people don't? And some people get to do it. So the only place that private gamblers got to go, companies, was online. But what is it? DraftKings and all of the other places that you do it. Yeah. Well, now the tribes get to do it. Do you think they'll have an upper hand, or? But overall, I'm afraid to ask. Denise, what do you think?
I have one comment that has one word: reparation. I personally, as a Black American who is a descendant of enslaved people that were human trafficked, stolen from their origin, divided from their families, including their parents, spouses, for over 460 years of free labor, including building this country, including the White House. So anytime we talk about this, I'm like, no comment. Reparation! That's all I have to say.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it.
You have spoken.
Because, I mean, make it make sense to me. And seriously, I might be speaking from a place of ignorance. So when we have these types of conversations, help me understand, make it make sense. The math ain't mathing. But again, as a descendant of slavery, not having land stolen, but literally taken from your homeland, human trafficked over the Atlantic Ocean. That's all I gotta say. Reparation.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Well, you figure if Native Americans got their reparations, then we should too.
I said what I said. You know what I'm saying. You and all of our valued listeners know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when we bring this topic up, all I have to say is reparations. Yeah. It's just like, okay. All right. Okay, so you provoked me, Dr. Ken. You won.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Unfiltered.
No, I was just going to say, it's the same way that a lot of Republicans, when they talk about why they're conservative or why they're Republicans, they're like, look, I worked hard for mine. And I don't appreciate others who have not worked as hard to be able to have the same access to what I've worked hard for. So, okay, well, if we're going to play that card, then let's play it consistently. Reparation.
The U.S. commercial casinos have experienced a massive surge in revenue over the last decade, culminating in 4 consecutive record-setting years from 2021 to 2024. In 2024, 2 years ago, commercial gaming revenue hit an all-time high at $71.92 billion. And that is inclusive of the pandemic. So can you imagine if we didn't have the pandemic? They're expecting 2025 should come in, once they have the numbers, around $115 billion. Online, $8.41 billion. and they paid $15.66 billion in direct gaming taxes to states and local governments. And that is why Governor Evers is doing, in my opinion, that is why Governor Evers is doing what he's doing. He wants a piece of that $15 billion. To do what? Probably give it to schools. I don't know. He seems to have schools on the brain. So.
And I pray that it goes to MPS.
I think what we need is tollways in Wisconsin. It'll alleviate all that stuff. Get a tollway.
Why do you think we owe? Gotcha. Okay. Oh, here's a better one. Are you ready for this, Wisconsin? Instead of driving 80 miles south and giving the state of Illinois, seriously, over $2 million of tax money, legalize marijuana.
But I think you'll have the same issue you have with sports and gaming. People will, well, I guess you'll be driving really slow, but I don't know.
What do you mean?
Have the same. Well, states that have legalized it saw an uptick in illegal sales because only middle class and upper middle class people could afford it because the tax on it was so high that buying marijuana was expensive. It was too expensive for the average person. So the like in Denver and in Colorado, the illegal drugs being sold went through the roof and almost quadrupled what it was before because nobody could buy the legal stuff, which then caused the same issues with, I don't know what's getting in it. I don't know what I'm getting in it. Fentanyl, all that stuff.
I hear you, Dr. Ken, but all I know during COVID, during the years of 2020 through 2022, Wisconsinites gave the state of Illinois, our rival state, $2 million.
But they had nothing else to do.
And here's the thing. I haven't seen the most recent report, but I bet that number is even higher than it was since COVID.
It is. You're listening to Truth Unfiltered, 855-616-1620, citing a limited WTMJ talk and text line. We're also on YouTube. Hit us on the YouTube chat. Hit us on the talk and text chat. We'll be right back.
When I first started Abbey Home 16 years ago, I only chose windows that I'd put on my own home. The same holds true today. Triple pane, lifetime warranted windows that are of the highest quality, made for our northern climate. Get them installed the right way from Abbey Home and never have to worry about windows again. Right now, get 50% off installation on all new windows. And if somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl. Go to abbyhome.com today. Or give us a call, 414-436-ABBY, 414-436-2229.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris sit down with Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, on the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 8 o'clock, it's 49 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of 45. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. The trial for the man accused of killing Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder begins tomorrow.
Prosecutors say 23-year-old Tremaine Jones faces charges including first-degree intentional homicide and attempted homicide in connection to a June 2025 shooting near 24th and Garfield. Investigators say Jones was firing a gun before officers arrived, and Officer Corder was shot while responding to the scene. He died days later at the hospital. Jones has pleaded not guilty and could face life in prison if convicted. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
It's day 44 of the partial government shutdown, with the House and Senate each passing their own plans to reopen the Department of Homeland Security before leaving Washington, D.C. with no deal. ABC's Mola Lengi.
Lawmakers remain at an impasse. House Republicans rejected the Senate's bill because it stripped out funding for ICE and Border Patrol, even though both of those agencies are already fully funded under President Trump's mega bill passed last year. Democrats have been pushing for reforms to immigration enforcement, ICE agents wearing body cameras, and banning face masks. But the House passed its own short-term bill to fund DHS for 8 weeks. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says that plan is dead on arrival in the Senate, which, along with the House, is currently in a recess until April 13th.
Long lines and delays continue at some of the nation's busiest airports. Another round of No Kings protests.
The war on Iran, immigration rights, and the cost of living were hot-button issues at the No Kings protests across Milwaukee on Saturday. Carrie was protesting on the east side at the corner of Bradford and Downer Avenues.
My sign says love wins, and I am here because I firmly believe that, and I don't want to lean into hate and anger.
Protests were carried out across the state in Milwaukee, Madison, and Green Bay, just some of the 3,100 taking place across the country.
People that are saying this is not okay, this is not normal.
Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Consumer experts are warning about mechanic scams. Senior Director of Investigations for the BBB, Lisa Schiller, tells WTMJ how to verify a mechanic.
Talk to friends and neighbors and ask, if they have a particular mechanic that they go to all the time, that they trust, that they've trusted with their vehicle in the past, start your search there. And then, of course, you want to do a little extra searching. Start with the BBB. At that point, bbb.org. See, what report we have on the mechanic, any complaints they've had, any reviews, positive or negative.
Schiller also recommends places that are ASC or BBB accredited. Progress continues on the I-94 East-West project, and the Department of Transportation says things are going well.
Crews recently wrapped up a major winter push. The DOT's Eric Hansen.
All that was completed about a week ahead of schedule, which is good news there. And that's good timing with the Brewers starting this week.
Even with all that, traffic into and out of American Family Field has gone pretty smoothly.
So we're set up to have a successful spring.
Remember, we do have some great tools to help you get to and from American Family Field. Get more details at WTMJ.com. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:03.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Saving money on all of your household essentials when you shop at Menards. Soften your water with Diamond Crystal Water Softener Salt. It helps your soap and detergent clean better, minimizes hard water stains, and increases the life of your appliances. Save big money on all solar natural softener salt at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Milwaukee Bucks are officially eliminated from playoff contention after their 127-95 loss to the Spurs on Saturday. And today they lose to the Clippers 127-113. The Brewers sweep the White Sox with a 9-7 win today. Next up, they begin a series against the Rays Monday night. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Pretty clear on the roads tonight, no major incidents and no slowdowns. Taking a look at the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 45 degrees. Monday, partly cloudy and warm with storms late, a high of 68 degrees lakeside, 74 degrees inland. Tuesday, warm with storms likely again, a high of 67. Wednesday, mostly cloudy and the temperatures drop again, a high of 41. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a chance for mixed precipitation, a high of 40. And on Friday, mostly cloudy with a high of 44. Right now in Madison, it's 51 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 50. In Waukesha, it's 50. And in Milwaukee, it's 49 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:06.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
We live in a country that is based on capitalism.
True.
I travel all around the world, Dr. Ken, and when I tell you, based on my experiences, this is like the number one country that cares. Like everything is about money.
Yep.
Everything.
I've told people in the past, you have to be careful of what you complain about and what you use as a tool because other people will take it and use it in the wrong way.
Live at the Avenue, here's Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Hey. We're back. I hear myself twice. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Let me do this. Hang on. Okay, how's that? Perfect.
Pivot!
Perfect. Outstanding. Whew, we made it. So now all we got to do is remember this for next week. That's all we got to do. All right. So count to 5, Denise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know you went to public school, but uh-oh, we're getting a loop. Turn that down. I can hear the loop through my headphones. We're good. Oh, and she went away. So we'll see. We'll work on it. 855-616-1620, the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. We've still got our own VMix, so just unmute VMix and we'll go from there. That's
all right. We're back.
Time working. We always spend our time working and making sure we get you the best. CBS 58 had a great story that was pretty thorough as it relates to the city attorney changing his mind on ICE out legislation. And Denise came across this story. I talked about it last week on The Truth. I didn't get into it too deep, but basically they're like saying, well, we need to look at what it is. So if you haven't heard, law enforcement identification, they wanted law enforcement officers when acting in official capacity, they want to prohibit them from wearing masks or facial coverings that requires that both the agency and the individualized identification be worn. Absolutely not. Absolutely. I am totally against that. If you want if you want patrol officers to do it, that's one thing. But when you have an officer who's kicking in the door serving a search warrant on some, drug dealer or killer or something like that, and that they can now, because of social media and OSINT, open source intelligence, find out who you are, where you live, all that. Absolutely not. And I think the city attorney, Evan Goike, went, let me pause this. Even though it passed, it passed committee and the Common Council was about to take a full vote. They said no.
The city attorney said he needs more time.
Mm-hmm.
He needs more time to evaluate whether it's even legal or enforceable. And just like that, a decision becomes a delay. And so for me, when leadership changes direction at what appears to be the last minute, this is where you start to get confused, tax-paying, law-abiding citizens. It creates confusion. Because on one side, you've got leaders saying that, according to the Shepherd Express, this is about transparency. This is about accountability. This is about protecting the community. And then on the other side, you've got folks that are saying you've got legal concerns, questions about enforceability, consequences, and whether this could trigger bigger issues down the line. So now we're not just talking about policy. We're talking about timing. We're talking about trust. And we're talking about, see, this is where I get concerned, Dr. Ken.
Why is that?
Because when the stakes are high and decisions cannot be made without wait a minute, hold on, that's what concerns me. Because is this leadership being careful or is this leadership being uncertain? And it definitely depends on how you look at it. But this is where, again, you start to create confusion, you start to create resistance and lack of trust. Because this ICE out
lack of trust. I don't understand that part. How's it creating lack of trust in leadership and whether they're going to pass it?
If I'm constantly, I don't want to say constantly, if I see in situations where it's high stakes, and in this case it is, because what we do know as of today is that the legislation is part of a broader ICE out Milwaukee package aimed at limiting federal immigration enforcement locally here in Milwaukee. One specific piece would require law enforcement to clearly identify themselves and restrict the use of face coverings while on duty. And right before, and for me, that's enough right there to know, regardless of what side you're on, what decision you're going to make. So the city attorney has now said he needs more time to evaluate whether it's even legal or enforceable.
Right.
And so I'm just saying, when these types of decisions become delayed, I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to change direction, but when you do it the last minute, is it creating clarity or confusion? Because now I think people, Milwaukee residents, when they hear ICE out, what does that mean? That's what I'm saying. The confusion impacts the trust. That's what I'm saying. When you are an elected official and you're changing your mind at the last minute, that's what I'm saying, could potentially impact voters' trust in you. Okay. It's about timing. Yes.
But they got to get it right. And Evan Goicke is an attorney. And attorneys don't like to get overturned by judges. So if you're going to do it, they want to make sure they get it right and get it right the first time. Then to go through all this trouble and then later get it overturned by the Supreme Court of the state or the U.S. Supreme Court because it's unconstitutional.
I get it, Dr. Ken. I'm not saying that leaders need to move fast. But going back to the original point where you said leaders, he wants to get it right. Absolutely. But when you change your mind at the last minute, that could be seen as a weakness. Now, from your lens, It sounds like that's absolutely. As a leadership strategist, yes.
But it's politics.
Trust me.
But it's politics. It's different.
It doesn't matter. Leadership, whether it's politics, whether it's a private or public sector, whether it's a for-profit, non-profit organization. And again, I'm not saying in every situation, and I'm saying that leadership should not be judged by speed. But when you make a sound decision and then you go back and say, psych, I changed my mind at the last minute, that's where I'm saying that's where you could lose trust.
Al from Sherman Park, you are on Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
Sorry, I was just switching over from the car to handheld. Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good.
I think the attorney is re-examining this because of the clause called the federal supremacy, that means local and state can't tell the federal law agencies what to do. And I think that's where they're going to get stuck and hung up, and they're going to be in federal court because of federal supremacy.
Supremacy
now,
clause.
They have every right, not to work to do the job of the federal government. And that's what the sanctuary cities are saying when they said they're not going to let their law officers intervene in cases that immigration enforcement wants cooperation with. But when you start telling the federal agencies what they can do, what they can't do on local and state, then you're violating federal supremacy, and that's where the city will lose.
The Supremacy Clause found in Article 6, Clause 2 of the U.S. Constitution establishes that the Constitution, federal laws, and treaties constitute the supreme law of the land. Mandates that federal law takes precedent over conflicting state laws or constitutions, and this principle ensures national uniformity and underpins the doctrine of federal preemption. So what do you think about that one, Denise?
You know, I'll just say this, Dr. Ken, whether this vote happens next week or gets delayed again, you know, this is not just about legislation. And oftentimes, I believe that we as, again, tax-paying citizens who exercise our right to vote for leaders that aren't just knowledgeable or have credentials, but can navigate pressure and how they respond to situations like this, because we are in a time, Dr. Ken, of uncertainty. We wake up every morning, and I don't like to speak in general, but every morning we wake up, we don't know what to expect anymore. There's so much uncertainty. So how you balance action with accountability, that's what I'm saying. Like, we already, and I'm not making this up. When I say we, the American people as a whole do not trust our government.
Correct.
There is a lot of uncertainty.
County or federal.
Yes. So I think that, you know, covering this, these are the moments where it's not just the decision that matters. It's how the decisions are being made. That's my point. So again, if they vote next week, or if the city attorney says, no, I need more time, it's making me a little nervous. Because this is when it's uncomfortable. And this is when you truly see exceptional leadership. Navigating pressure, responding to uncertainty, balancing action with accountability. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
And it's important.
Well, thank you, Al. I appreciate it. I get it. But I think we've bled into, and I know we got to go to break. We've bled into these laws that have gotten, you know, sanctuary cities and stopping ICE from doing things. It sounds good, but, you know, supremacy clause is there for a reason, because sometimes the federal government has to come in and say, this is what we're doing because this is good for everybody. And so I guess we'll have to wake up tomorrow and see if the governor signed it, and wake up tomorrow to see if Evan Goike, you know, made up his mind. Your thoughts, you can hit us on the YouTube chat at 620 WTMJ. Just search us on YouTube. Or you can hit the Citing Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line at 855-616-1620. I am Dr. Ken Harris, and she is Denise Thomas. When we come back, TLC's chili. I think her chili's getting hot.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
We'll make your ads potent, memorable, and effective. Whether it's radio, TV, billboards, or digital, our understanding of the market and long-standing relationships are unmatched. Anderson Smith represents a substantial amount of advertising billing, which will benefit you in getting much more for your ad dollar. Our compensation model is designed to make it affordable for businesses like yours to use us. And we hold on to our clients because what we do works, and they trust us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. Too many times was I told, just go out there and sell something. Too many times did an advertiser buy just one package only to be disappointed. I'll give it a try, they said. You know, I was just doing my job until I realized that job set a lot of people up for advertising failure. So we started Anderson Smith, and since then, we've retained many clients for over a decade and have been a valuable asset to their business because we're helping them rather than just selling them. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. If you're trying to work, juggle life, and keep your dog happy at the same time, look, I get it. We're the same way. Thankfully, we found the Hounds and Tap. For doggy daycare for our Greyhound, Knight, it's been a game changer for us. He gets exercise, time to socialize with other dogs. We know Knight's in great hands at the Hounds and Tap. They even take care of his grooming during his visits or separate appointments. That's perfect for us. If you're like us and searching for top-tier services and a team you can trust, get connected at thehoundsandtap.com.
Welcome back to The Truth Unfiltered.
Yeah. Sound good to me. This sound hard. Something funky people gon' dance to. Give the record a second and a chance to. Hitting people like a scene of amazement. While they slipping back, my feet is planted in the pavement.
Hey guys, I wanted to come on here to address a few things that's circulating on the internet that's very concerning to me. Let me say this first. I have the utmost respect and admiration for Michelle Obama, and I would never say or do anything that is disrespectful to her or to any woman. I would never do that. And I had no clue that this repost had happened until I started getting phone calls and text messages from everybody, and I immediately went to my page to see what was going on. Now, mind you, I'm not very computer savvy, so I'm looking for this repost button, and I see that all of these buttons are very, very close to each other, and clearly I was scrolling and my thumb hit the repost button. Again, I had no clue that something like this happened until I got all the calls. But of course, hey guys, I wanted to come on here to...
That is the voice of Rosanda Thomas, also known as Chili, who is part of the R&B group TLC, and she's denying the MAGA allegations, saying she didn't read the fine print on her donation. Singer wrote a statement, and you heard part of it on Instagram last night after the internet called her political affiliations into question, following a report by Media News that she had donated to Donald Trump's campaign. Well, the outlet cited FEC, Federal Election Commission, records that showed Thomas donated to several MAGA Republicans through her contributions to Trump's PAC, the National Republican Senatorial Committee, and Republican Senator Ted Cruz. So, while people are upset about it, the question is, does she have a right to have, if she was, would she have a right to vote for who the heck she wants to, and it's nobody's business? That's the other side of that. But she got quite the dust up, and they ain't letting up. What say you?
I have no issue with anyone based on who they vote for. I know some people that are very close to me that have said out loud, if you vote for so-and-so, I can't be your friend. And although I don't agree with it, I respect it, but I do not hold anyone in a negative way based on who they decide to vote for, their political affiliation. My ancestors didn't fight and die for black people to have the right to vote for a certain party. They boycotted, they protested, they fought, they died for the right for all Americans, including Black Americans, to be able to vote. Now, this is where it gets problematic for me, Dr. Ken.
Where's that?
I'm sorry?
Where's that? Where's it get problematic?
In addition, so I'm not tripping off how she voted. Where it gets problematic for me is she accidentally, according to her voice, what we just heard, according to her, Rosada Thomas Chile, that by accident, she reposted a post about Michelle Obama
Right.
and her gender. This post was implying that former First Lady Michelle Obama was a man and was a transgender woman.
Right.
Now, Dr. Ken, I will say this to you. As someone who has utilized social media since the year 2008, I don't have, based on my algorithms, and algorithms are basically generated by what you like, what you post, what your hashtags are. So I'm trying to understand, why did Chile even get that post in her feed to accidentally repost?
I get posts.
That's
all
where it got
sorts of things that I never read, I don't agree with, and it pops up on my feed. I haven't gotten random feeds. I went, huh? Where'd this come from? So
when that happens to me, there's another button that you can press that says, do not send this to me anymore. I'm not interested in these topics.
Right.
But I can tell you right now, I have never in the history of being on social media received a post about whether or not Michelle Obama is a man or a woman. That has never come up. I don't get feeds that are anti-Obama. I don't get none of that. And all I'm saying is that
because I pretty much read everything. I read Democratic stuff, Republican stuff, issue stuff, political action committee stuff. I get what do you call them? Think tank stuff, which is really bizarre and kind of weird, but it can happen.
Okay.
Because I don't think the algorithm is that exacting. I think they throw stuff in to see if you'll want to read it, and they give you stuff that you normally read. So
okay. So
I mean,
now I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to say this. Again, I'm not going to say I'll never play a TLC record based on knowing from her mouth that she has made donations that are directly tied to the Republican Party or to MAGA. Because the reason why I say that is because we're becoming a society that is like a gotcha society. They're always looking for reasons to try to cancel somebody. I don't support that. But I am just saying, Dr. Ken, that if I do receive something in my reel or in my feed that is of no interest to me, I immediately, and obviously Chile didn't do that because she claims that it was an accident. It was an accident reposting it. She has the utmost admiration and respect for Michelle Obama. But see, this is why it's not good for her. TLC, En Vogue, and Salt and Pepper just announced a major tour. Literally last week.
Mm-hmm. Together?
So, because here's the thing. Have you heard anything about Chile before this? Exactly. She's very quiet.
So you
don't really
plan it?
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I find it interesting that she's not someone who gets into trouble. There's never been any scandals from her. How she votes and who she votes for, that's her business. Now, you can say, I don't want to support Chili because I know this. That is your right, too.
Right.
But again, for me, if I had bought a ticket to the show, and I probably still will go to see it because I love Salt and Pepper. I love TLC. You can't be an 80s, 90s baby and not benefited from the artistry of either of those groups. In Vogue, TLC.
And we haven't heard from Chili since TLC, since what? Maybe since Lisa Lopes died in 2002. It's 2026. It's 2026. Yep. We ain't heard nothing. She 55 years old. Anybody heard nothing from her? I don't think they're going to dance too much because she's 55. So,
Oh, no. Chili can dance. She can move just like she moved 20 years ago. No, I promise you. You can Google.
They're going to have some long time in between them dates so they can rest and recuperate.
Dr. Ken, I am telling you, Chili looks exactly the same as she did when they were at the height of their career in the 90s, and she still moves the same. That is a fact. You can YouTube it.
I move the same too, but it still hurt.
Well, I can't speak. All I know is that Chili looks the same. She's in great shape, physical shape, and she moves the same.
Yeah. What about
that's actually how she's been able to sustain a huge following because she posts videos of her dancing.
Okay. But what about your girl Janet Jackson? She's 59. You think she can move the same way?
Well, no. I mean, but Janet Jackson was a different type of entertainer and performer. Janet Jackson, if you look at videos, comparing Janet Jackson to Chili, that's like comparing Muhammad Ali to Sugar Ray Leonard. Two different weight classes.
Okay.
That's not a fair comparison at all.
All right. What are your thoughts? 855-616-1620 is the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. You can hit us on the YouTube chat. When we come back, like Denise, black professionals are walking away from corporate America for their 9-to-5 jobs. They rolling out and not looking back. We're going to pick Denise's brain because she actually did that. She decided to go into business and start realcalmcoach.com and blow up and take over the world and travel all over the world. And from the looks of it, from thegrio.com, black professionals are leaving fast-paced corporate culture behind and betting on themselves through entrepreneurship. We're going to interview the person that did it, watch this, and wrote a book about it when we come back. You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris. We'll be back.
So if you're looking to install a new glass shower door, you're going to want to see selection. The more you see, the better choice you can make. And that's why our store is loaded with 20 different glass shower door options. And what sets Less's Glass apart is that you're going to have somebody close by for help who's been here for years and years to ask them questions and get reliable answers. Now, no one's going to be hounding you, but when you need an answer, you're not going to have to search around. One thing you can count on at Less's Glass is that there will always be a member of our staff here with decades of experience. And that matters, because how many times have you been at the big box home improvement store, walking around trying to find someone who can actually answer your questions? This is Stacy Sinks. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
From those with no experience to firearms enthusiasts, all are welcome at Mission 94 Firearms Education Center. The staff is deeply committed to providing a welcoming and engaging environment for everyone at every level. Learn the right way to handle firearms, level up your skills, and experience replica firearms from different historical eras while learning about their role in protecting our freedoms throughout history. Visit veteran-owned and managed Mission 94 in Kenosha today. Check out the 5-star reviews. Just Google Mission 94.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $100,000. $3,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed. Mamma mia! Screamin' Sicilian, so loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screamin' is about.
Welcome back to The Truth Unfiltered.
Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris. And in the control room, you are listening to Truth Unfiltered. You can get us on YouTube. We're live on YouTube, live on X, live on 620 WTMJ. We're just live tonight. 36 minutes after the hour. So before the break, we were talking about black women that were rolling out of corporate life, rolling out, leaving, adios, sayonara. And I mean in droves. People at Netflix, Uber, Apple, everywhere. They're saying Procter & Gamble, they're done. And they're leaving. And they're black women. And they're in the C-suite. You know, president, vice president, executive vice president, chief operating officer, chief executive. They're saying, I'm done. They're saying that my mental health, my financial stability, my control of my career, doing things that reflect my values are more important to me. And so I know, Denise, you worked for a while here. And matter of fact, the reason why you moved to Wisconsin was to work in corporate America. And you worked there for a while. And you decided, like these black female professionals, that the gig is up. So what say you?
I think the most important factor that many of our listeners, as well as our viewers, consider, because for a lot of people, when they hear the headline or read the headline, Black Americans are being forced out or leaving, the first initial reaction is defense. Well, what do you mean? And oh, here we go again, playing the race card. And so I would ask, first and foremost, to understand that 90% of Black Americans, and in this case, in particular, Black women, do not leave their companies, their employers. They leave their managers and the people who are put in positions of people management that don't like people that are different from them. So when you hear someone say, I left company X, it's not to say that company X is a terrible company, but what company X failed to do was to make sure that people that they are promoting based on their technical aptitude and based on their performance, then promote them into people management roles where they are managing people that they've had no experience with and, quite frankly, are leading from a biased mindset. So, for example, Dr. Ken, if I work for you, okay, you just got promoted.
Okay.
Your trajectory, you came in as a business analyst and you were on this fast-paced, very rapid, agile, upward mobility pace to where now year 5, you have a team of 10 direct reports. And you come from a background where you've never in your life, not even just had a classmate, but you've had no experience with intelligent, articulate, professional, responsible black people. You see black people as the black people that you saw on television, on sitcoms, or what your family or whatever. You just don't have a good view of black people. And so you take that into the conference room, you take that into work, and imagine constantly having to make someone else feel comfortable, and then to the point where you can't even perform. You can't focus on being an asset to your employer. So again, I just want to say this. It's not that black people are walking away from corporate America. Black people are walking away from their leaders who were promoted or hired by their employer, in this case, a corporation, and have no clue or desire to appreciate someone who was of a different race. That's the problem. And that's why I wrote this book. Because if you are someone who doesn't want to leave, you don't have to. I want to be clear. These are conscious decisions. But if you are someone that says, you know what, I just don't have that entrepreneurial fire in me, then purchase this book. Because I'm literally giving you the roadmap, the playbook, and the blueprint to navigate those types of situations where you are the only one in the room, or you're working for someone who has no clue how to collaborate with you, how to coach you. And for the people that are listening that make those decisions, please quit promoting or hiring people into people management roles that do not know or like people that are different from them. And that will solve all of this immediately.
Interesting. And so Denise, the effective communication coach, if you want to follow her, it's Real Calm Coach. 2 M's, realcalmcoach.com, the only one in the room. And so they happen to mention that in this story about men and women going into leadership in Fortune 500 companies, small companies, nonprofits, and looking around and having to literally navigate a room where they're the only one in the room. Now, other people say, well, why would you feel different? You're like everybody else. Well, that's easy to say when the majority of the people, 95% of the people in the room, look like you. It's the same for men. It's the same for women. But when you get down to brass tacks, it comes down to the system itself as it relates to commerce and business is not set up to be proactive for us, to the point where the story talked about 37% of people who left corporate America, started their own business, felt that they had to have somebody white on their crew, on their team, just so when people came in and looked at them, they could think of them as a viable business and they could get a loan. That's unconscionable to me. That in 2026, you're not a real business if the leader is black and you don't have any white people working for you. But they don't look at white businesses like that. I find that.
As a matter of fact, a lot of these white businesses are going through it because they had to force black women out so that they wouldn't be accused of being a DE&I hire organization. So it's very contradictory.
Yeah.
It's very hypocritical.
Or if I need to open up my markets and I've saturated all of the predominantly white markets, and now I need market growth, and the only way to get it is to go to the markets that you don't necessarily that your product or your service isn't servicing, then you start to look at black patrons and customers. Then you start to look at Hispanic and Asian. But you kind of know when people are coming after you because they're trying to sell you something because they've sold everybody else. Now they want you. And so I think that's a good reason to start your own business. And I guess you worded it as a strategic advantage. But is it a strategic advantage to leave and start your own business?
And again, that depends on, here's the thing, Dr. Ken, a lot of people, what this article, and I get it, because that wasn't the focus of this article or the objective in terms of the message, but
I got
most,
so I may as well talk to the expert.
Thank you. Most entrepreneurs, regardless of race or gender, last maybe 6 months to a year.
Really?
Because, there's more entrepreneurs that end up going back than there are that stay in the game. Absolutely.
Wow.
And so, for me, because next year will be my 10-year anniversary of the Effective Communication Coach. I've worked for myself longer than I've worked for any employer. And so the strategic advantage is only possible if you are willing and able, to your point, Dr. Ken, be open to listening, learning from all types of people. So I have a network that is comprised of white men, white women, black men, black women, Asian. I mean, this is a global marketplace. And if you're focusing on, I am walking away from white corporate America versus I am entering a global marketplace where I want my products and services to serve any and everybody.
Right.
That's the strategic advantage. So I think a lot of times when these articles come out, you're focusing on what you're running away from, and you've got to also be very cognizant and aware of what you're walking into and how you want to make your product and or service a global brand. So I appreciate you introducing me that way, because that's always been my goal. I don't want just black consumers. I don't want just white consumers. I want global wide, New Zealand, Australia, Zimbabwe, Appleton, Wisconsin. That's what I want. And that's why I've been in business for 10 years. And that's why Stephen M.R. Covey wrote the foreword for my book. And because he knows, he saw that, people experienced that. I'm all about making sure that everybody wins.
So you can go to realcomcoach.com, or you can go to Amazon and get The Only One in the Room: How to Transform Differences into Strengths, Communicate with Impact, and Lead with Confidence, by our very own Denise M. Thomas, the Effective Communication Coach. You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. Signing Unlimited. Talking text line is 855-616-1620. We'll get to some of those talking texts there and on the YouTube. Remember, whenever and wherever you are and you're listening, just know we're live on YouTube as well. You can catch the show, see what's going on in the studio, and comment along with us. All you got to do is go to YouTube and search 620 WTMJ and subscribe today.
Want to watch all your favorite WTMJ shows? Check out the WTMJ YouTube channel. Live streams of all your favorite WTMJ shows, from Wisconsin's morning news to what's on tap. See breaking news as it happens. Get involved with the action in the chat on Brewers' Extra Innings and Bucks Talk, or see all the cool tools on the Fix-It Show. Missed your favorite show? We've got past live streams and interview highlights too. Subscribe to 620 WTMJ.
Turn your tax refund into a new bathroom at Menards. Make this the year you check that project off the list. Upgrade your bathroom with Max. With more than 1,000 showers, bathtubs, and surrounds, you're sure to find exactly what you need to add luxury and style to your bathroom. Save big on our entire selection of Max bathroom products. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, you're gonna love it all. When you shop at St. Vincent de Paul. Old things, new things here for you. We're always changing, we're always always knew. So many friendly people, smiles from wall to wall. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life. At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work. Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. Search AXIS Legal today.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered.
You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 855-616-1620 is the Citing Unlimited WTMJ talking text line. This story we talked about earlier. We kind of mentioned it in passing, and I thought now would be a good time to get to it. WISN 12. Washington County Board no longer considering naming highway after Charlie Kirk. The county originally said renaming it would cost $50,000. They were going to get it in private donations, but as Washington County contemplated the renaming of a highway, we have learned that the actual cost is substantially higher than first known, said County Board Chair Jeffrey Schleif. In a statement last Friday, he said, while we wish the process had gone smoother, this matter is no longer under consideration. Well, my question is, why would you consider naming now? God rest his soul. Charlie Kirk was killed by someone in Utah. They have him in custody. We ain't heard nothing of him yet. We no preliminary hearing, nothing, but that's another issue. Why would you want to name a street after a guy who has absolutely nothing to do with Wisconsin? I would say roughly, because I've only heard him speak 2 or 3 times, roughly 50% of what he said could be considered by middle-of-the-road Democrats and liberals and Republicans and conservatives racist, misogynistic. I'm not. And I heard some knucklehead, that wasn't the word I was going to use, say that he is in the same light as Martin Luther King. That, and I'm not even talking about race, that is an insult to anybody that had anything to do with making this country great. And Charlie, he did not with comments like that. Yeah. So what do you think? Was this a wise decision for them to say, well, first of all, was it a wise decision for them to even go down that road to think about naming it? And was it a wise decision to shelve it?
Well, first, let me just say that everything you just said for the past 30 seconds to 45 seconds, although it's not a real numerical value, I 1,000% agree with.
Okay.
I'm speaking from ignorance when I respond to your question in the form of a question. I don't know what was so amazing about Charlie Kirk to where he's being memorialized with these types of like statues and streets. And I again, please educate me. 855-616-1620, because before I can respond from a place of understanding, I'm just trying to understand what is it that was so incredible where he needs a street named after him. And to your point, Dr. Ken, I don't even, and again, I don't know, so help me understand, listeners. Did he ever come to Wisconsin? I don't recall.
Before.
Years aside from the Republican National Convention, I don't know if again, so I'm just trying to understand what is it about him to where you have legislation at a local, state, and even federal level, national level, even entertaining the idea of memorializing him in that way. I mean, that's a big deal to have a street named after you.
Yeah, it is.
To have any type of building. So again, please educate me. Now, as far as him being compared to Martin Luther King Jr., I will say this with my full chest out. Stop it. Because now you're insulting the intelligence of many people around the world. Stop it. But as far as the names of the naming Charlie Kirk Avenue and the Charlie Kirk Memorials, like, help me understand.
He was from Scottsdale, Arizona. And I don't think he was from Scottsdale, Arizona. He lived in Scottsdale. Y'all want to name something out there? Knock yourself out. Go all the way out there. But I think it's an insult because he has not done anything. Kyle Wallace on his show said, I've done more. Kyle said, I don't deserve a street named after me, but I've done more than Charlie Kirk in Wisconsin. Than Charlie Kirk.
I would agree from my lens too. And I would agree about you, Dr. Ken. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't pretend, which I think is something that I hope a lot of us start doing. Yeah. I'm here to listen and learn. I can't make a statement with such conviction without understanding. I did not even know much about Charlie Kirk before his assassination. I knew about Turning Point. I'm just trying to understand. Why? That's all I'm asking. Is our talking text line blowing up yet?
No, because they know. They know.
If somebody could just help me understand why, then maybe we can end this show with me saying, okay, yes. But I do know that as a black woman, Charlie Kirk didn't see me as qualified. If he saw me hosting this show, he'd say immediately, oh, she's only co-hosting with Dr. Ken because she's a DNI hire. Now that's offensive.
Yep.
Because I know this for a fact. I've worked, you know what? No, we're not going to go down there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, just trying to understand why he needs to have a whole street or a whole building in any state for that matter. I'm not, even Arizona, like.
He's from Arlington Heights, Illinois. Let him do it down there.
But to Kyle's point, there are so many people. So help me understand.
There's nothing to understand, ma'am.
I'm coming from a place of ignorance.
And I think that's exactly what the county board came up with. This is ignorant. Well, I want to say thank you, Denise. Good hanging out. We will be off next week. It's Easter Sunday. Like today is Palm Sunday. So I know you're going to be live on the day after Easter. So that'll be good.
In the studio, y'all. So I promise I'll sound much better. We're going to get this resolved. The next time you tune in.
So she'll be following me.
Yes. We're working on it, y'all. We appreciate your patience.
All right. Hey, y'all. God bless. Take care. Thank you, Denise. Appreciate you. Evan,
always.
Have a great evening. Make this week count. Have your best.